What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the circus. Boy, oh boy, what crazy markets, huh? Yeah, very interesting what we are witnessing in this crazy, not just crypto, but all markets. And yeah, we're just going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to take a look at the CPI, okay, the Consumer Price Index. Take a look at what's happening over here with some of the price actions, and I'll let y'all go. All right. Welcome again, everybody. Sure hope you guys are doing well. Very glad as to what happened yesterday with the pause that Trump announced for 90 days. That was crazy because it pumped a whole bunch of money back into the markets, and everything started pumping like crazy. And yeah, I'll tell you guys a little story at when I'm done presenting here, whatever it is that I want to talk about, because it's gonna be something that you guys should be able to use to kind of help you gauge where the market is. So it's just some things that I'm picking up as it's not innovative or anything like that. Some other people have mentioned it, but once you start becoming aware, you'll start picking up on certain indicators, quote unquote. All right, so the market today, let's refresh this. Bitcoin under $80,000. So it wasn't enough, right? The 90-day pause. We still have uncertainty. And I think ultimately it's the whole China thing, right? I think, yes, Trump still wanted to get something out of all the other countries, but I think ultimately the end goal, right, the entire time, the end game was to bring China to the negotiating table and, maybe have them submit to, better trade deals or whatnot. And so Bitcoin, dropped a little bit. Everybody else is dropping as well. I don't know if you guys noticed, but look at the fear and greed index. It actually went up because this thing was like really bad. So a little bit up. Let's take a look at the memes. And again, a lot of red. I mean, we look at Farcoin the last 7 days, 90% up. That's crazy. But now we're starting to see a little bit of retracement. This 1 hour is looking nice for Farcoin, but SPX, one of the few projects still in the green in the last 7 days. And Pepe here, but that's pretty flat. Okay, who else? Got Popcat here doing a little something. And NPC here. NPC has been holding quite well. Okay, between the 80 to $100 million market cap. And what else? We have Pepecoin here. Okay, turning a little bit green, but still pretty flat. But still, even the 7-day, we are down almost 5%. So, like I said, a lot of uncertainty still. It was good to see Book of Ethereum here. It's good to see Trump come out and, and pause this, right? Kind of calm down all these waters. The markets were very, very, very uneasy, okay, with everything that was going on. I mean, we look at our portfolios and they tell us a story, right? And that story is all the liquidity has been sucked out because there is little faith in the market because of all the uncertainty that's out there. We look at chunk. Chunk here has been completely flatline. Okay, for the last 24 hours, nothing, not up, not down, just it just did not died, but come on, do something. And GameStop, see a little bit in the red, 7%, and based AI, pretty flat. Okay, so just trying to get back to the green as well. So, I mean, these market cap guys for these projects, I know the biggest roadblock in the middle of base AI is his own team, really. I mean, even if they come out to just blow some smoke, on our faces, I think this price action could be different. But then again, we can only assume, and maybe what's happening is they do want to deliver something rather than vaporware, as some people are saying. So the CPI actually dropped. Okay, I think last month was 2.8%. This month was 2.4. It was expected to be 2.5, so still beat expectations. So it is nice to see that the inflation rate is going down. And the biggest category that dropped significantly was energy. Even though I don't see that much on the gas, okay? The gas stations, I still see those prices above $3, $3.20 where I'm at. Maybe some other states are enjoying a little better relief than we are, but not entirely sure, because I'm sure there's something else just besides fossil fuels. But nevertheless, it's still nice to see this going down. This continues to give, more validity to cutting rates. We are getting extremely close to that 2.0, okay, mark that the Fed says we have to hit. And so we're getting very close to actually having the Fed pivot and cutting rates. Maybe May we will see some rates being cut. We don't know yet. But again, everything is trending in the right direction at the moment. Now, fascinating that even though this is the case, it's like it didn't do anything for the market, at least currently, because everybody is so entrenched and just completely consumed by the whole tariff situation. So very, very fascinating. Had there been no tariff issues going on, this CPI would have been extremely important, and we probably would have rallied a little bit, right? Because this, again, gives us good news that cuts should be lining up, okay, in the next few months, or whatnot. But sometime this summer, I would assume we should be getting, maybe one cut. So I don't know. We shall see. The next CPI reading will be on May 13. So mark your calendars. This is probably going to be a very important CPI reading. They all tend to be very important because everything is hanging on, these numbers, so that the Fed can determine whether they are going to change policies and finally cut, or hold steady, or whatnot. But all right, and this is what I wanted to end with, is this indicator, okay, that is really fascinating. So 2 days ago, I was talking to my sister. Okay. And by this time, already at work, I had spoken to various people extremely concerned about the market. Okay. And that's that right there. That right there, guys. Whenever this happens in your midst, okay, you must understand we are reaching either one end of the pendulum or the other end, okay? And seeing the fact that we have been completely, the markets have been completely demolished, right? We have been bleeding like crazy. Then, of course, we are more in bear territory. So, had a conversation with my sister. She was completely afraid, okay, of what is occurring. Doesn't like the uncertainty of what's going on, the instability, the this, the that. And I try to reassure her that this is more of a self-inflicted, man-made, yes, crash, you could say. And the markets, those of us that have been here a little bit, right? We understand that the markets, they are very reactionary to uncertainty. And the reaction, okay, which is also moved by sentiment, and that sentiment tends to be greed or fear. In this case, because we're going down, is fear. It gets pretty manipulated, right? And so all this fear going around, a lot of the liquidity gets pulled out. People are listening to the news, and the news are pretty much saying that the sky is falling, it's all going in the gutter, and that's it. Everybody's going to lose their pensions, their 401ks, their 403ks, their everything Ks, and and people start to panic. Now on Tuesday in the morning, I was having conversation with some of my coworkers where it was like, hey, listen, you know, calm down. Oh yeah, somebody was telling me they're down $100,000. They're about to take their money from their 401k. They're gonna move it somewhere else. And I'm like, oh my goodness, stop! Like, don't make decisions, rational decisions. Like, don't go crazy. Don't lose your sense of I don't know. Well, then again, right? They call us dumb money, right? Because we don't know how to manage it, or we are very good at selling low and buying high, but we have to have some sense, some common sense, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And those same people have been around, or were around in 2008, where everything went, kaput, and still the market recovered, a couple of years later. So my sister's feeling the same way. Yesterday, okay, I'm trying to leave work. I'm talking to another coworker because this is what's in everybody's mind now. Okay, take notes. I wanted to buy so bad, but I do not have any dry powder. Okay, I don't have any cash, guys. It is, oh my goodness, it was so hard to just sit on the sideline and miss the opportunity of buying. Now, okay, let me finish the thought and then I'm gonna say something else. Of buying low, okay? Buying that massive fear that we were feeling since like Sunday when everything started tanking. I mean, people telling me that they're completely depressed, okay, when they look at their retirement accounts and how much they have gone down. And this is what the news media will do. They will drive people absolutely insane. They did it in 2008, okay? And that was the other point, right? Is if you lived through 2008 and you saw what happened then, right? Couple years later, we bounced back and everything, you know, was back in business, actually way higher. So you made more money, okay? Had you sold in 2008 and realized your losses, you would have been hurting a lot, okay? Those couple years later. So the whole point of this is do not, I don't know how to stress it because I've said it so many times in this channel, but I stress it a whole lot that you cannot be emotional, okay, in this market. You just can't. Because the minute that you are, you will make terrible, and I mean terrible, financial decisions. Don't do it. That's why they continue to call us dumb money because we don't know how to come in and out of trades or investments. And if you don't need the money right away, just leave it alone. Why rush to get it out? What you gonna do? Oh, I'm gonna just get whatever's left over for what? To invest it? To invest it in what? Guys, if you didn't pull out, close to the local top, 3 months ago, then just leave it alone. I mean, that's what I'm doing. Not financial advice. The same thing that I told my coworkers. It's not financial advice. Ultimately, everybody is gonna do what they need to do, but you know, the whole point is if you are going to be in this game, you have to get educated in this game. You can't just come in here and just start throwing your money away. I mean, we do, in certain things. I mean, I lost quite a bit of money on a whole bunch of Solana scams, right? Mean scams. But I've made decent money with my Solana. I've made decent money with my Bitcoin. I've made decent money with some other stuff, My Pepecoin, yeah, that trade is massively in the red, 100%. But the only reason why I'm in the green with some of the other tokens is because those other ones I purchased in 2021 at the high, okay, the all-time high, and I just kept DCAing throughout all of the horrendous 2022, and that's the only way, right? But if you're just getting into projects, when beginning of 2024, you are probably hurting because that's when everything was just flying like crazy. So, I mean, the whole point is, guys, if you're going to get your feet wet with crypto or stocks or whatever it is, you cannot have a mentality that you're going to become extremely rich, right? In 1 year, in 6 months, in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 3 months. Okay, you have to have a longer time frame. Now, can some people do it? Have some people do it? Yes. But now, as time has gone by, we're starting to notice that a lot of those people, more than anything, have been insiders that pretty much knew what was going to go up and they were going to dump and this and that. We saw a lot of that nastiness going on. Completely terrible. But the game is still the game, right? And we have to learn how to play it. And because I'm not a day trader, and I've told you guys I'm not a day trader, I cannot possibly, okay, with my job, I cannot possibly be sitting in front of a computer just following price action, reading charts day in and day out because I just don't have that time to dedicate it. So what do? I invest. I put in money, put it in there. I see it go down. It hurts massively. It hurts. But again, if you feel that you are investing in something that makes sense, like Bitcoin, right? In my case, I still think that Pepecoin, it is an incredible steal. And still, I mean, at 47 cents, is still at an amazing price. Base AI at 50 cents. If Base AI were to release, okay, at least that prototype of what it is that they're thinking, okay, of StarNet, whatever it is that they're going to release, if they're going to release it, I mean, Base AI has the potential to really go up to $5 in an instant. I know there's a lot of resistance, okay, in other levels, but what I'm saying is, relatively speaking, I mean, in a short period of time, it can actually do a 10x because of what the product could be, right? Pepecoin with the I just don't understand how people do not grasp the concept of a meme, okay? And not just a meme, Pepe meme, the very first one to ever come out, okay, of the Pepe, and then all the other derivatives came afterwards. But the second OG, let's say, after Doge, so you have that, right? The devs thought about everything. The devs thought, oh man, we cannot have a project with a tokenomic that, you know, the tokens will be increasing for eternity, which is the case with some projects. So they capped it right at 133 million. So now we have a situation. Okay, so now we have 133 million, but now we're gonna add some use cases to this token. Okay, and one of those use cases is going to be we're gonna burn those Pepe coins so that we could get brain credits, so that we could get these brain nodes, right? So now it's no longer 133 million, right? If we looked here, I mean, we have almost 26 million tokens have been burnt, because even 2 days ago, 76,000 Pepecoin just went poof, gone. This is crazy. 17, almost 18,000 Pepecoins also a week ago. And so people still continue to burn these tokens. And you have to understand, at some point in time, somebody is going to catch on and they're going to say, oh my goodness, this thing is extremely deflationary. Okay. There's less and less token in circulation. And what makes Bitcoin so appealing is the fact that it is finite. There's only going to be a certain amount ever to be minted. In the case of Pepecoin, all the tokens have been completely minted. Now we're going backwards, right? And so now we're burning. It's almost a reverse process. So it's put all these things together. We're going to have Kekistan. Listen, I cannot tell you what's going to happen in Kekistan, okay? We're going to go into a little assumption land here. But the potential of what you can do in Kekistan, it is limitless. I mean, I've been thinking about it, and I think that's one of the things that they are maybe planning to do, and it's somehow integrate other projects, okay, to be able to participate. I mean, that would be extremely crazy. Do you know how many people you will onboard this way? It's insane. So you have that. Now the currency, all right, because there's different things that we'll be able to do in Keck space. Now, to do that, right, you have to have, I would imagine, some type of currency. And which currency do you guys think they would probably use? Yes, you got that right. I'm glad for the 2 or 3 of you guys that are actually paying attention and that are writing the comments, okay, in the bottom of the video. Yes, that's correct. They're going to be using Pepecoin. Now, will there be more burning of Pepecoins? Absolutely. Not only that, we also heard from Committer that on the based AI side, there are actually plans of doing staking again, okay, with Pepecoin to be able to get yield. So, I mean, listen, they say you can either give somebody a fish or you can teach them how to fish. One of the two will always be more beneficial for the person. There's so much fishes that I can bring to you guys, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to have the desire, the yearning, I mean, you know, the drive, the inspiration, the resolve to say to yourself, oh man, like this is my financial situation. At the end of the day, my decisions that I make today, they are going to affect my tomorrow. The decisions that I make today will affect my tomorrow. And if it was just my tomorrow, I wouldn't be as concerned. But it also affects my wife's tomorrow, my children's tomorrow. So, with that said, guys, use your environment around you to kind of get a gauge of what's happening, okay, out there. I'm not going to say we hit like the complete bottom. Actually, you know what? I believe we hit the bottom. I really think that we did. The amount of panic that I felt, okay, from people the last 2 days was very clear to me that we had to have been at the bottom. And I am almost certain that smart money is stacking up hardcore. Maybe not 100%, but they are probably buying quite a bit. And, you know, eventually they'll sell at the top. But yeah, don't let the news drive you crazy. I know I'll probably have some people that will unsubscribe. That's been the case. And I get it. When times are hard, people lose faith on everything, even on the good players, you know, in the game. And, you know, but then eventually when things turn around, people come back, right? And then they'll notice, oh man, you know, I see what If I Were to Invest was saying. You know, they were, you know, pretty much just trying to control our emotions and trying to, you know, just help us out in navigating these treacherous waters. So, and I do hope that is the case. You know, if you guys like the content, support the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave me some comments. You guys know that even if it takes me a day or two, normally within 24 hours, I do tend to reply back. You know, give me some feedback. But the point is this, right? And is don't let your today affect your tomorrow in a negative way. You know, if you're younger, then I mean, you probably have more time than everyone else. I mean, because our tomorrow is not secure, right? But you probably do have more opportunity to make it big, and I mean massively big, right? In 20, 30 years. Man, even in 10 years, even in 5 years. But just stay the course. Don't lose track of why you're here, the whole purpose of doing crypto and all that. And also, we'll talk about this in another video. That I was listening to something that was just completely crazy about treasury bills and hedge funds and the way that they sell, to the repo market. It's a complete scam. And this is where we put our 401ks, where we throw everything. All our faith, we put it on these financial advisors and all these companies that are just gambling the craziness out of our money. Anywho, sure hope you guys like this content. Sometimes we have to rant a little bit, right? I mean, we are in a little bit of a better market condition, but, we'll still have retracements. There's still a lot of uncertainty. Ultimately, the goal, I think that Trump wants is to bring China into some agreement so that, we could have a better playing field for the U.S. as well. That is beneficial for the U.S. as well as it is for China. And then, everybody else that wants to do zero tariffs and all that's definitely being welcome. But I think the bigger fish that the U.S. is trying to catch is China. And so the question is, will it get it? All right, guys, thank you so much for passing by, for listening to my rambling. And I really hope and pray that you make so much money that even if you give half of it, okay, to the poor, as what's his name, the short little guy in the Bible, Zacchaeus, just like he did. He gave 50% to the poor and still had enough. That's what I wish for every single one of you guys. You have so much money that you are able, with half of it, help a whole bunch of people, and pay it forward. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.